touch the hem of his garment. How about Lazarus, who was stinking and decaying? They didn't have embalming fluid back then. He was already in decaying quick. But when Jesus said, come forth, flesh would begin to go back. Blood would begin to flow through the vein. The heart would begin to pump again, and the lungs would begin to breathe air because the King of Kings had spoken life. You see what I'm telling you? What these things seem impossible become reality when God gets into the equation. You're telling me tonight that you've got something too hard for God, and I'm telling you, quit believing that mess and understand there ain't nothing too hard for God to do. Just start believing God. The impossible will become a reality when you allow Jesus into your situation. Did you hear me? When you get Jesus into your situation. What man seems to think is total defeat, only when they leave God out of the equation. I'm telling you tonight, when God's still in the equation, I'm telling you, you may see some things you ain't never seen before. Growing up Pentecost all of my life, I've seen it. I've seen the lame walk. I've watched bones go back together. I've seen the paralyzed healed. Every time I still get an amazement what God does. I love to see God move, don't you? I love to see him move. Some people say it may seem gray, but God. Let's remember that. Some of you are thinking my situation's gray. It's buried, it's in the tombs, but Lazarus was too. I don't care how many days it's been in the tombs. You need to think about it. When he calls it forth, it's going to come forth, ain't it? They say there's no cure but God. But God. They give up on me, but God. Too many people want to give up on others. I've heard it said before. Let me tell you. But God. But God, many people will tell you, oh, there ain't no hope for these people. Oh, look at that. They forget about the grace of God. If it wasn't for the grace of God, where would we all be? How many people said that about you? I believe in the grace of God. But God, the people say there ain't no hope for others. Oh, they're so bad. As long as they're breathing, let me tell you, but God, some of the ones you least expect will be the ones that God uses. Did you hear me? The ones you least expect many times are the ones that God uses. I can tell you right now, I'm the one they least expected. I'm one of those ones that least expect, and I least expected it. But the ones, you think about what he did. Many would have said Saul was no hope either, wouldn't he? But God got a hold of him on the Damascus road. And he become the great apostle. Then he look at David. And David was a man who bloated. He was a man who had another man killed, committed adultery, and lied. But Jesus said he was a man after his own heart because he was quick to repent. And his kingdom's forever, by the way. He's going to right there and rule and reign with Jesus Christ. People need to remember that. You think your family's all gone. You need to remember, but God. You said, I've done all I can do, but God. Get them to Jesus. Let him do the rest. I'm telling you, I can't clean them, but I can sure give them to Jesus. Anybody know what I'm talking about tonight? But God. You see, the impossible comes to reality when the miracle maker gets into the equation. Too many people leave God out of the equation, and no wonder it's impossible. When you put God into the equation, all things become possible. We got to have faith believing. Guess what? I'm getting ready to close. The same God who done all these things I told you about is the same God that's still here tonight. Everyone standing in here. I want to ask you, how many need God to intervene? You need God to do it tonight. You need a miracle. You need a touch in your life. I'm going to invite you down here. How many would say, I need you, God? I need you to do the work. You know what I have need of. I'm in need of a miracle. God, I can't do it. The world will tell you it's impossible. Man will tell you it's impossible. But I'm telling you, if you put God into it, give him to Jesus. He is the miracle maker. He is the great I am. Remember that. Not the I was, but the great I am. He is able. Put him into the equation and let God do the work.